Alright lads, it is the Meta Goblin here and welcome to the story recap for Jurassic World, which will be in the cinemas this week. In this video I will firstly give you a basic overview of the Jurassic Park films and explain how dinosaurs have actually been able to exist in our present time, which is what it's kind of basically about. Then I'll recount all the first three films for those of you who need a recap, and obviously there will be spoilers, but you know, I'm saving about 5.5 hours. And lastly, I'll detail what I know about the latest film. It's important to note that the films are actually based on books, and the films are very different to the books, so just bear that in mind. So our story begins with John Hammond, billionaire and CEO of a bioengineering company called InGen. Now John has a dream to effectively make a zoo of dinosaurs on the isolated island of Isla Nublar, off the coast of Costa Rica. They discover a way to create dinosaurs by extracting blood from fossilized mosquitoes, since it was an animal that went around sucking all the blood of numerous different species of dinosaur. Therefore, it contained their DNA. They combined the DNA with frog DNA so that they could begin to create dinosaur eggs and clone that DNA to create more dinosaurs. They only cloned female dinosaurs so that they couldn't breed on the island and get out of control, since dinosaurs are pretty big and dangerous creatures. However, because the frog DNA that they used belonged to a West African bullfrog, which is a species of frog which has the ability to change its own sex in a single-sex environment, the dinosaurs were able to breed because they were changing their own sex to male. And that basically explains the setting of Jurassic Park, so let's start recounting the previous films. The first film begins with a scene of a dinosaur attack on a member of staff. So John Hammond invites several experts to the island to ensure that Jurassic Park is actually safe. Firstly, there was a mathematician, Ian Malcolm, a paleontologist, Dr. Alan Grant, and a paleobotanist, Elias Sattler. Basically that just means people who know stuff about dinosaurs, especially since in their first appearance they are cultivating dinosaur fossils. They get a tour of the park in a robotic jeep. Meanwhile, an evil bloke called Dr. Lewis Dodson, I don't know, perhaps there's a letter silent there, an employee of the Biosyn Corporation, which is the rival company of John Hammond's InGen. He is secretly working with an employee of InGen called Dennis Nendry. He's basically paid Dennis to steal dinosaur embryos, since Dr. Dodd, let's call him Dr. Dodd, seeks to create dinosaurs of his own. In order to gain access to the facility where the dinosaur embryos are contained, Dennis has to turn off the power for the entire island, including the security systems keeping the dinosaurs contained, which was bad news for the current people on the park's tour, since the Tyrannosaurus Rex breaks out of his containment area and the whole park goes into absolute chaos. Meanwhile, Dennis Nendry attempts to escape the island but gets killed by an escaped Dilophosaurus. I won't go into much detail about the rest, but they escape the island and it's like happy days. The second film begins with a rich family who obliviously take their boat to the coast of Jurassic Park for a picnic where they are attacked. In response to this, John Hammond's nephew Peter Ludlow, whose character kind of replaces Dr. Dodgen in the novel and in the previous film, he assembles a team to abduct the dinosaurs and take them to a new theme park on the mainland. Hammond contacts Ian Malcolm, the mathematician from the first film, and invites him to travel to the second Jurassic Park island with a team to hopefully raise awareness to the rest of the world that the dinosaurs are happy and they're fine and happy to live in their natural habitat, and to hopefully stop his nephew from bringing them to the mainland and making sure the same mistake wasn't made. The same mistake he made isn't going to be repeated. Devising a method to extort money from extremely dangerous animals is pretty stupid. The second Jurassic Park island was called Site B, where they bred the dinosaurs before taking them to the main attraction on Site A. However, when they abandoned the project about 4 years ago, a storm destroyed the security and structures on the island, which meant that the dinosaurs were allowed to roam free on the island. Nature will always find a way. InGen successfully managed to capture a male T-Rex, which kills everyone on the boat and crash lands in the port of San Diego, allowing the male T-Rex to roam around the city. Ian Malcolm and his girlfriend Sarah Harding lure the T-Rex back inside the boat using the T-Rex's child. The T-Rex is safely taken back to the Jurassic Park, and it's happy days once again. Now the third film I'll go over very quickly since it was the shortest and most definitely the worst. The only thing it really had going for it was the awesome Spinosaurus, which was able to kill a T-Rex. A kid called Eric Kirby is paragliding on the coast of Jurassic Park, and his crew are mysteriously killed by an amphibious dinosaur. He lands on the island and finds a safe place to live, and he manages to survive on the island well because he's read a lot about dinosaurs. Paul William H. Macy and Amanda Kirby, a divorced couple, father and mother to Eric Kirby, trick Dr. Grant from the first film into giving them an aerial tour of Jurassic Park, with an offer to fund Dr. Grant's research. In truth, Paul was not a rich man, and he didn't want a tour of the island. He wanted to land on the island and look for his son. They find his son and narrowly escape a pack of raptors before being rescued by the Navy. And that's about it, lads, so let's go over what we know about the latest film. Now, Jurassic World is set 20 years following the events of the first film on the island of Isla Nublar. There is a fully functioning dinosaur theme park owned by the Machinima Corporation. It appears that they have been able to alter the brains of the dinosaurs to make them extremely obedient. And it looks like the film will be about this big hybrid dinosaur called an Indominus Rex, created from the DNA of a Gigantosaurus, a Rugops, a Majungasaurus, and a Carnotaurus. I can't say his name, sorry lads. It'll be interesting to see if this film lives up to its previous installments. I myself am doubtful, since there have been seldom any watchable remakes of classic films like Jurassic Park, but I'm hopeful and I'm going to see it in a few days. Anyway lads, that's it for this video. My next recap will cover the new Terminator Genesis, however the hell you meant to say it. You know, the new Terminator film. I also have a story and a recap with Triss Merigold coming soon. My name is the Meta Goblin, and until my next video, ciao!